We have parts lined up everywhere. We have tubs full of parts. We're trying to figure out where they all go. We kind of stuffed everything in the trunk months ago. There's some headlights. And now we're trying to figure out where everything is and where everything goes. We're gonna start the G37. Before we get to all that, let me explain everything that's been going on. I had to buy a key programmer. I had to diagnose a couple of things. We got that out of the way. I'm gonna cut to that footage so I could show you exactly what happened. So we have the radiator support on. So far, I'm just routing the wiring harness around. In order to start the G37, I had to purchase this key programmer. And what that allowed me to do was to program the new key to the new module. You see, whenever you're replacing a module, that module is going to be either programmed to the old key. In my situation, since the module was used, it had another key program and I did not have the key, okay? Or if it's a brand new module, there is no key programmed to it. So the BCM had to get programmed. So what did I do? I went and got this Autel programmer, this key programmer. It worked really well. You grab one of the keys, a blank key, you put it in here, you program it, and then you're able to start the vehicle. Without this, without programming it, you can't do anything. You're stuck, okay? So I program it and we're able to start the car.
Can't be that simple. We got something. We're in.
Shall we play a game?
But since it's a manual swap, I had to bypass some wires. So I spliced into the BCM and let me show you exactly what that looks like. All right, so here's the new key. I'm able to lock it and unlock the vehicle now. So I could get in. I still have to route all of the wires, everything for the BCM, but this is pretty much what I got going on. There's this jumper cable and I'm gonna supply that with some power. And here is what it looks like. You see I had to jump this pin right here. This is for the automatic and this is for the manual. I added that wire and now I'm supplying it with power because that's what it requires. I looked it up in the manual, in the wiring diagram, and that's what it's supposed to have. It's supposed to have power going into that when it closes the circuit from the switch. And I am simply, since there is no clutch pedal yet, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna simulate a switch and just add power to that wire, and we're gonna get this car started. And just to give you an idea of what would happen if there's no power going into this. Okay, here it is, it says clutch in. And this is something else I discovered. I did not know, okay? I bought a manual instrument cluster. I bought a manual one, but apparently you do not need it. Once you replace the BCM, you don't even need it. So apparently it sends a signal and the whole picture changes. And here's what happens. If there is no closed circuit on this, there's no power because there's no clutch pedal. We're gonna try to start it. Nothing. I am hooking up the power probe to the battery. I have the power probe hooked up. I'm gonna simulate a switch. I'm pressing on the clutch switch right now. I'm gonna add power. Now I'm gonna start it. That didn't work. You know, the starter has been giving us problems. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to replace the starter on this. There it is. All right, let's try again. I'm pretty sure the neighbors are gonna hate me. It's open headers. Well, she runs, she smokes. I'm going to move the Miata out of the way so I can record a little bit better. All right, so I have the automatic BCM removed, okay? That was a piece of cake, but set that to the side. Here's the manual, ECU, and the ECU lives up there, okay? That's gonna be tough to get to. I think I am gonna remove some things. All right, so I guess it was a good idea to remove the little glove box. So now I could just unbolt this bolt right here and take the ECU out and put the new one in. So you guys can take a look at. I bet this cabin air is filthy. Let's see. All right, well, it's not that bad. That's not that bad. We're gonna leave that in there. All right guys, so I have the PCM installed. So now I'm gonna work on wiring up this harness, and I'm gonna be doing some soldering right now. All right, so I'm using my little power inverter. It's a little portable inverter, and you basically install the battery in here. You turn it on, and I have it hooked up to my soldering iron. And let's see if it's hot enough. We got smoke. So now I'm gonna fuse these two wires together with this green one. And this green one, I am gonna route all the way to the other side. I actually used to do this a billion times a day back when I used to work at Lee County Sheriff's. So now I'm gonna fuse all of those together, making a permanent bond to make sure we have no interference with ground, because that would cause a short. The wire is done, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the module back on. So here we have the wire. I have fished it through with this rod. Here she lives. And that's for my clutch pedal. All right guys, so I am getting ready to install the shift linkage. I already have it mounted on there. You can see right here, I have to cut back on there, okay? It's not sitting correctly. Yeah, I'm gonna show you underneath what it looks like. So here it is right now. Here's the linkage. I bolted this on. You can see right in the top of this floor pan right here, it needs to go up a little bit higher, because when I bolt this on, it's still not reaching. It does not fit. So I have to cut away. I'll probably make a line right here, cut away around this, make that hole a little bit bigger so this could sit a little bit higher up. So even if I wanted to leave it like this and I could go through the gears, I really can't, because it needs to go up higher. So we're close. I'm gonna cut this back and see where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Sharpie or a paint marker, mark along where I want to cut. I'm gonna lower it so then I could cut into here. All right, so I think I'm going to be using a combination of tools from hole saws. Drill one in this side, one in this side, and then I'm gonna follow it back with the saw. All right guys, so this is what it's looking like so far. I have the shifter hooked up. We have gears now, got reverse, we have everything, okay? Look at how I had to cut away, okay? It didn't come out too bad. Nice clean cut, okay? So this part right here, I'm going to have to fill that in with something. I'm not happy with that. That has to be filled in with something. I'll probably use some type of silicone mat and close that up, close up everything so no fumes or heat could get into the cab, you know? But let me show you what it looks like underneath. So here we go. It looks pretty clean actually. You would never be able to tell unless I told you that this was a manual swap, unless you really knew. All right guys, so I have the e-brake cable, okay? This is for a manual. I got this from Z1. So this one, it's gonna let me connect this e-brake handle because right now we have a e-brake pedal, okay? That is the emergency brake pedal. This is going to be eliminated and the cable is gonna be a whole lot shorter. So it has to be connected to here. So I have the center console installed right now and I'm trying to get a good idea where the e-brake handle is gonna go. So somewhere along here, I'm trying to fit everything and I'm gonna have to pull back the carpet to see where I could bolt onto. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Maybe there's some indicators there that I could bolt onto, but I don't know yet because I've never done this before. So I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. But here you can see in the inside, I have my shifter ready coming out. It's gonna be pretty cool. I do have the cover for here. And yes, I know my dash looks like shit, but we'll do that later. We'll address that later. Right now, let's address this e-brake. All right, so it looks like I am going to have to unbolt the e-brake cable right now and disconnect it all together because I cannot mount this. The cable is in the way, so that has to be removed anyways. So I'm gonna make sure the car is braced correctly because I have it up on jack stands right now. Okay, and I'm gonna loosen this up and see what happens. All right guys, So I have my little GoPro head mount on. Hopefully I could be more productive today instead of having to set up the tripod. I'm just gonna try this out for today. So this is where the e-brake is gonna go. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's gonna go right here, right against this. It's gonna sit about this height, so there's a little space here. What I'm gonna do, instead of how I would do it back in the old days, I would actually get a piece of pipe or get a piece of metal and cut and weld and grind and take a lot of time to fabricate something. I think we're gonna do things the new school way, and I'm gonna take a measurement and I'm gonna 3D print the spacer I need for this. Got my caliper. I'm getting all sorts of different measurements. It's because, well, it's not flat, so this spacer here is gonna be a little bit higher. This one's gonna be lower. We got a lower one here as well. So I'm gonna take a reading off of here. So we know we want to make it at least 18 mil. Double check, make sure 18 fits all the way around. It looks like it will. 18. Okay, so now I'm gonna measure the inside of the diameter of the hole. And we got 9, about 10 mil. This one's a little smaller. We'll go with the smallest, 8. We'll go with 8. So we know that the inside of this is gonna be 8 mils. All right, so I'm here at Tinkercad, and I know it's a very primitive software. I'm not a good designer, so this is what I use. This is for beginners. I am a beginner, but it gets the job done. So we need a cube of 18 mil by 18 mil. Okay, we want the first height to be 14 mil, so I'll probably go with a 20, duplicate it, and just repeat it over and over again. So we're gonna go this, we already have a 20 here. We need the inside of the cylinder to be 8 millimeters. So we're gonna go 8 by 8, boom. I want the sides to be smooth. I want it to become a hole, just like that. It's gonna be taken away. We're gonna make this slightly longer here. And now I want to center it in this cube. So what I'm gonna do is use my alignment tool. If I could, there we go. We're gonna align it to the center. It is now centered. And now I'm gonna unionize all this. Okay, so we have our first spacer. Okay, very easy, very, very easy to do. So now I'm gonna duplicate this one time extra, and we want a height of, we got the 20, we're gonna go with the 18. So now we're gonna go 18 mil, boom, and now we're gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna do the other spacer, which is a 14 mil. Boom. So here, just like that, I have made some spacers to hold up the e-brake handle. Okay, hold up that whole bracket. I'm gonna 3D print them and install them in the vehicle. So let's go ahead and go to the next phase, and I'm gonna export them. Here's the file. So in this box I have a ton of parts that are waiting to be installed on the 370Z that I have not done. Cameras, speakers, amplifiers, yada yada yada, brackets. But somewhere in here, I know I had it. Maybe I have moved it. I forgot about this, of course. Okay. It's not in here. It's back. Somewhere in all of this mess. Here it is. Here it is. I have, it says ABS. I have so many filaments. ABS. All right, so we have some ABS filament. The difference between PLA and ABS, it's one of the things is ABS could withstand higher temperatures versus PLA. The melting point on this is a lot higher than this. So inside the car, this is gonna be just fine. So we're not using that. We're gonna install it in one of these printers, one of these thousands of printers I have here. And we're gonna get that file going. All right, we're gonna let that play. And in 2 hours, I'll come and check on that. All right, so we got a package from Z1. Let's see what we got. I already know what it is. Let's see here. Let's take a peek. Should have the seal. Nice, beautiful. There we go, beautiful. This is the back flange that we need for the diff. Let's go see. How's it gonna line up here? There we go, beautiful. I have the e-brake here. And we have the spacers that I printed, different size ones. So if I could recall correctly, I believe the longest one goes here. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna super glue it into place. I gotta do some testing first before I send everything home. This is not how they're gonna hold on. I just need them to stay in place so I could test some things. We have the shorter one here in this end. And the medium-sized one was in the rear. Sit like that, right in there. Just like that. And we bolt it down. Let's run the cable through and do a mock-up, one final mock-up before I drill and make everything permanent. All right, guys, so I'm gonna slide this here on. And I think that's gonna be perfect. That is perfect. This could slide in a little bit more. But I could tell already that that is the perfect height. And that's gonna be exactly where I want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill that and send that home. And that's gonna be its permanent place.